Okay, welcome back everybody to Coffee and Art in the Morning. I'm Dee Dee, and we got color book spread all out. So we already did one segment this morning, which I'll upload shortly. But if you missed, where it'll be titled with Cadfael in the title. But Lady Jan sent a awesome letter that she wrote of her visit. Her and she and Mr. Bear when they went to in 1991 in Wales. So check that out. I try not to say check that out. There's got to be other ways to say check that out. But go and peruse that video. And then also I got this awesome postcard from Desiree. She sends these awesome postcards every now and then. I need to figure out how to do another inspiration board since my room is completely shelved floor to ceiling. I have no walls to put an inspiration board or just little rotate out little art that people send me. But I love this, even though Eileen, I don't think Eileen's here, but I love this. It's just beautiful. It's beautiful. What did you, you want, Vic, yeah, so anyway, before I hit record, I was asking what kind of, if anybody had a preference on a color book page, and then Vicky comes in. I think I'll throw a wrench in the whole thing and say, I want you to do an art journal page. Well, we'll see. I know the flamingo is stunning. I know. But yeah, Eileen's, I don't see Eileen here, so I guess we're good. So thanks everybody for being here. Well, we'll see how much, everybody's going, well, we'll do both, do an art journal page and a color book page. All right, so I think that what I'm going to do is I might do some of in two different books here because we did have a request from out of Lost Ocean. We picked this double page spread, so I might just show you how I might go about doing it without actually finishing it, because once I always try to upload the finished photographs into my color book album on Facebook. So if you want to see all my finished pages like this one, they're uploaded to my Facebook album, and you don't have to follow me or me follow you to go look at my albums on Facebook. I have multiple different albums, and I want to make even some more, but they're all public, so anybody can go look at them. But this is one of the pages that I've done in the Lost Ocean. I also did a mermaid page, but I tore it out. Don't email me. I tore it out and sent it to Renee, who sent me this book. So I'm thinking about showing you how I would tackle a couple different pages, like this one. And I'll have to get the camera zoomed in just right. And then I also had requests for working in the time chamber. And I've got a couple done in that one. This one's almost done. And then this one is done. Where is the other one? This one. This one's done. So these are two pages that I've done in the time chamber. But again, this is not done in a 3-hour segment. So I have to keep saying that on my recordings. I cannot do this in 3 hours. So yeah, but I've had people want me to color this one too. Now in the time chamber, it is a story about a little girl. I think she's a little red-headed girl, I think. But I'm coloring every page different. I'm not coloring her same outfit and her same hair color on every page. I'm treating every page as its individual page. So she might have black hair, blonde hair. It could be different on every page because I'm not treating this book like it's a full-on kids book, where you'd have to color it all the same in the same outfits and all that. I'm coloring them like as individual, because I would get bored coloring the same girl over and over and over and over, 50 times the same. So I just, I'm the boss of my color book. So I'm thinking I might work a little bit on this one and a little bit on that other one. But I'm just going to quickly show you a couple others that I am still working in. The Game of Thrones, I know I've shown y'all this before. I've got a few pages in process, and when I finish them, I'll post them in the album. This one's still in process. I've just got it kind of base coated, or the wash in the background, but I haven't done any shading or any, glitter or anything on this. This is the same. I've got him going, and again, I know that these different houses, the different thrones in the Game of Thrones are probably not colored like this. Like Sir Loras, I think is how, I'm not sure anyway, how you pronounce it. I don't watch the Game of Thrones. I know, don't email me. So I don't know if, he's got blonde hair, red hair, blue hair. But I'm coloring the colors I just want to color them. Okay, same for her. I did do her glittery in the snow. So, yeah. Game of Thrones, that's one of the things that I would want to read the books before I saw the series, because the books are always better than the shows, and I would want to have it in my head first, all the plots and the thrones and I'd want to read it first for myself before I saw the show. That's just me. So you can see I put glitter stickles on the snow. So yeah. And I think that's all I got going on. But this was the official Game of Thrones coloring book. So there's that one. I work a little whatever. I'm a little in each one. The Jasmine Beckett Griffith book, you've seen me do 2 different ones. These are recorded. The first one, this one, it took me 3 parts to finish on a show so that you could see me from start to finish do this. This one took 3 parts. So you can see that one. And then this one we did last week. And I rushed through. I did not completely finish the waves and a couple other things on the show, but I pretty much got her finished in 3 hours. But it was tough to speed through. And she did not have, African American hair. She had just straight hair. But I wanted to do, a dark skinned girl for I just like doing different skins, So I did her hair kind of like a braid. There it goes, kind of clicking in. One of the editors described Game of Thrones as... I haven't seen any of it, Vicki. None of the Game of Thrones. Not one smidgen of it. But again, it's one of those things I want to read the books. And so there's that. Okay, so we'll go ahead. Oh, and then the lookbook, I'm also working in this. Y'all saw me do this, and it was either 2 or 3 parts. And it is kind of flashing out a little bit, guys, on the camera. And then I did this one, and I still haven't quite finished the scooter. And then this one, I just got the background painted in. Nothing more on that. And I have colored, and then this one. I have colored like 3 other girls that I made copies of. Maybe 4 that I made copies of so I could send 2 to Paula, and I've cut 2 out and put them in my art journals. So there's that. Is that all of them? Yeah. So that's the look. Around the World Fashion Coloring Book by Suwa. Okay, so those are all the books that well, they're not all of them. And then this one I'm using to color and cut out. I mean, I'm literally just coloring and tearing them straight out of the book for the art journal. The big oversized Mama Jamba Moleskine book, I'm putting those in there. So, okay. Okay, so I will show you how I would start these pages, and we'll see how far we get. I'll fix the camera, I'll zoom in, and hopefully focus it well enough for everybody to see detail. So I hope everybody's having a good Monday. So I'm going to start with painting, so I'm going to want some wax paper behind the pages so that I don't paint the pages shut, I don't want to get paint all the way to the edge and then they glue together. You're going to order the lookbook off of Amazon? Yeah. There's a couple other books that are out that I want to get, but I haven't been to the store in 2 weeks. I haven't been to the book, believe it or not. I haven't been to, I'm going to have to kind of break the spine here so it lies flat. I haven't been to the bookstore in 2 weeks because a week ago we did the family lake thing. Then this last weekend was Mother's Day. I went out and spent the night at Denise's. So, yeah. So I do want to get the book to lie as flat as I can. So when I zoom in. Okay. All right, so here we go. Let me readjust the camera settings and all. Now, I don't want to get any closer than this while I'm doing the background. Guys, let me readjust some settings here. I've got to turn down the light. Refocus. Let me get my card here to focus. Something to focus on. Not sure how good that is. No bookstore. Yeah, I know, right, Vicki? I haven't been to the bookstore in 2 weeks. Now, when I turn the light down, it helps on the white paper, but it makes me look like I have this awesome tan, which I don't. I'm pale as a ghost, but yeah, but it's yeah. Maybe by the end of summer I'll look like this, but right now I don't have that tan. But I want to be able to get the glare off of. Move some of this other way. I want to get the glare off and still be focused in. Okay, so hopefully that's good. Y'all let me know when we get crack-a-lackin'. If it starts looking fuzzy, let me know, and I'll try to readjust the focus, okay? Because cameras do not like white paper. They do not like white paper. But after I get some of the background done, then I'll zoom in even more for the details. So my plan for this one is I'm going to go ahead and paint in some of the background with acrylic paint, but I'm going to probably do the bulk of the coloring with markers. Now, when I say markers, I don't mean Copics, okay? I mean just water, these kids' ones like this. Right, let me take out some of these other pens because I got all bundles of pens. These markers right here, they're just the Crayola Super Tip Kids markers. They're water-based. Now, they're not watercolor. They're not going to... Okay, thank you so much, Jan, for the letter. It was awesome. Thanks so much. I hope you'll do it again if you go in September. So, they're water-based kids markers, and as long as you don't scrub, you know, and your paper is this is a little bit thicker, but it may go through. You know, it still can go through if you saturate it, right? But with markers or some gel pens, these are just some cheap gel pens. With gel pens, you can get in some of the tiny little bits on a color book. Or, let's see, got some Bic Biros or whatever y'all call them in UK. Then I also have the Sharpie pens. These are Sharpie pens, not the markers. A Sharpie marker will go through most color book pages. I only have one color book that's even thick enough to hold much of anything other than the mediums that I'm using. But if you use Copics, or you want to use Copics or any other kind of alcohol-based markers, I would recommend you making a copy of the page you want to do and coloring it on cardstock or whatever paper. You won't care if it goes through if it's a copy. But if you're doing a book where you want to do the front and the back pages, it's going to go through with any serious, you know, serious coloring on it, right? They're really made for color pencils, which I use those too. Bic crystals, yeah. But I think they're called Biros across the pond. Okay, so what I will do for this, again, let me kind of hold it up so you can see what we got here. We have two like emblems sort of thing, one with the seahorse and one with the starfish. But I want to show you how I would do the back. Now, it may get repetitive. I don't want to be apologizing for things taking a long time. But, you know, it does. It takes a while to do a color book page. And so, maybe we'll do a little, we'll see how far we get with this. So let me move these pins out of my way. If you have any questions, put them in caps. If you're watching this recording, it's a live show with live people, a live chat. And, yeah. So, what I'm going to do, I think I'll put this little thing under here. That may help some. Move the wax paper out of the way. And we're going to start with some paint. Move some more pins out of the way. Things pile up. They do. They pile up. Let's see if that brush is going to be... Let me look through my brushes here real quick. Get a couple on a pointy one and a flat one. That may be too big. It's almost time for me to get some more angle brushes. Might go with a little larger one. Let's go with those two. And if I need a smaller one. All right, let's see. Let me go through another jar real quick. I don't mind fluffy brushes when I'm doing certain things like art journal pages, but when I want detail, they have to be able to get a point sharp, you know, they have to stay sharp. Let's see how these, okay, so I got a few brushes here going. All right, so what I would do, this I'm going to just talk you through, and if you've heard me say this stuff before, I know it's, I repeat the same things every time I do the process, but that's because I'm talking out what I'm doing, and yeah. So I'm going to get a little tray here for some paint. I'm going to start out with, I think I'm going to do some minty greens. Let's go with some greens instead of blues. So I think I'm going to start out with some pistachio mint. I'm going to get a couple of greens, and I just put it out here on my palette. I don't want to shake in front of y'all to make the camera. Okay, this one must have a, okay, does this one, I must, oh, I left the lid off of this one. Okay, let's get another one. And I've got another duplicate somewhere. Hang on. I'm going to go. Okay. So, again, pistachio mint. I'm just going to get about that much because I'm going to do a wash. I'm going to do washes on the background first. So, some pistachio mint and another green. Don't really want all of these. I want more, what kind of a green do I want? I'm just looking at them. Kind of, I don't want like grass green. I want something like underwatery. I guess I could go with a mint and a light. Do I want a light blue? Because I want a couple different colors of green. If you have any questions, put them in caps. Maybe I will go with Bahama blue. I'll do a couple shades here. So we'll go with Bahama blue and the mint green for now. They're similar but different. There'll be enough of a variation in it. Okay, so I'm going to just get one of my brushes here. And I always wet my brush and then just get out the excess water. And I'll probably just wet this down just a little. I want it pretty, I don't want it a complete, you know, opaque, transparent. So I'm just going to kind of wet it down just a little. Just so it flows a little better on the page. So I hope y'all can see. Jerry's has a best deal on golden tone brushes. Yeah, I'm not real picky on my brushes. I do have a nice set of brushes for my oil painting, which I really don't do anymore. But I do have a nice set of expensive, you know, sable brushes and things like that. But for my acrylic painting, I just go through, I mean, I just go through tons of brush, you know, I got tons. It's not like I run out of brushes, but I go through them pretty quick because I'm kind of rough on them sometimes. I scrub a lot with them. So because I'm not real careful with it, I do clean them well, but I'm not real, yeah. I don't care about expensive brushes for these kind of things. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start with the minty green, the pistachio minty green, and all I'm going to do is just start coloring in. See, this isn't showing up. I can see in camera. Y'all can't even see this, can you? I don't know. That's the problem with white paper and camera. But I'm just going to start filling in every other one with the two colors. Yeah, that's what these are. These are plastic handles. This is a plastic handle. Some are wood, some are plastic. Depends on the sale at the time, what coupons I have. But I do like the plastic ones too, because you don't have to worry about them when you sit. But I never really leave my brushes sitting in water for very long, so that really isn't too much of a problem. I have done it before, left them in overnight accidentally. And yeah, if they have wood handles, the paint will just like peel right off. Okay, so let me say this. You can see, okay. Let me say this. When I'm going around these, like this little swirl right here, I don't care if the paint gets on the swirl, because I'm going to color over that, either with a marker or with a color pencil. So, and both will go over, a light wash of acrylic paint. So, I hope y'all can kind of see that. Just one squirt of water. Yeah, you didn't see me? I squirted it once with the water. Yeah. So it's just it's a little translucent, a little bit, it'll move a little bit better is what I wanted. Okay. All right, now I'm going to go over to the blue. And so what I'm going to just do is do both shades here. I'm going to do the blue. This is how I would do it, just by myself coloring. I will need a smaller brush in this little area. Some of this is smaller. If you have any questions, put them in caps. I'll just chat with you while I'm coloring. There's not really, there's not a lot to talk about when you color these guys. I mean, it's not complicated. It's really not complicated. Hey there, Julie. I know her last name's not Topaz. I don't know. I might need to zoom. See, I'm not liking the focus. Hang on, guys. That's just not working for me. It's just not in focus at all. So let me try some more stuff here. Let me get it focused. Let's check that out. Might have it too dark. Hang on, guys. It's really tough to get these close-ups. Of color book pages. No, this isn't going through. It's not going through the page. I have this here because I'm going off the edge, Vicki. I'm painting directly off the edge, and I don't want to glue the pages together with acrylic paint. So that's why right now I have this. But it's always good to have a piece of cardstock when you start coloring and start bearing down with a color pencil, because then you're going to indent the following page. So if I'm bearing down with a pencil, not that I really bear down that much because I like a light touch, but you're going to dent the page behind it if you don't have cardstock. Right now I'm just doing a wash or, painting with some acrylic paint, and I've just got the wax paper here so that I don't glue the pages together. Okay, so let me get back to that. I'm just kind of getting a couple different size brushes so I can get in a little bit more detail. There we go. I guess that's a little better. They don't know. I try, guys. I try. All right, so let me go back to the, I want this one to be green. So I'm just going to go back and forth between the two. And again, I'm not really concerned about going over some of the swirls or whatever with the paint because I'll paint over it. Now, I don't want to cover up all the lines. You know, I want to be able to still see the color book so I can kind of go along with the color book, but I'm not worried about, you know, oh my gosh, I went over the line just that little fraction of an inch because I'm going to color over it, right? Oh, I picked up the green accidentally. Hang on, guys. So I just want to paint in the different swirls going around. And it's hard to tell. This one I need a little bit darker. Got too much of a wash. I just want enough paint in this case. I just want enough for the paint to flow, but I don't really want it transparent. I want it a nice kind of solid. You lost your favorite stamp. Well, it's not the most detailed. There's other ones, the time chamber. There's lots of them that are really detailed. Oh, there's more detail than this. Tiny, tiny little details. All right, I still want this. I don't want this translucent, so I'm going to put a little bit more on there. Because I'm going to put some designs over the top of these. Probably with a white pen. Okay, I have no idea what favorite stamp you lost, Little Book Owl. Okay, are you on the birthday list, Iffy? I don't know. I don't have my book in front of me. If you sent me your birthday, then it's probably in the birthday book. All right, so now this one's going to go blue. Email me, Iffy. I don't know. Okay, oops, let me get back on camera. That's the other thing. You got to try to stay in camera when you're so zoomed in. All right, so I'm going to just, again, guys, this may be very boring for some of you. Oh, great. Look what I just did. Just threw my sleeve through it and all over here. Okay, hang on, guys. I got to change shirts because I'm dragging my cuff through. It's a painting shirt, but I can't be dragging my arm through it. So let me put on this shorter sleeve shirt. Okay. Can't be dragging my sleeve through it. Then you'll have to email me, Iffy. I can't do it right now, okay? Wearing a white shirt. Yeah. Well, it's a painting shirt, but the sleeves weren't rolled up. So I just changed shirts. Okay. All right. So that one needs a little bit of green right there. I just have my water right there too, so I can, if I need one brush or the other, I can just clean out the brush. Okay. So hope y'all can see. I'm just going to paint over this. It's okay. I mean, I can take a baby wipe too and get some of it off, but I can still see through it. But it's going to be painted over anyway. But if it's a little thick, I'll take off the excess. Okay, so now let's go back to the green. I got to remember to stay in camera because I'm so zoomed in. Hey, Trish. Yeah, no, I usually am pretty good about wearing my painty clothes in here, because I do have paint over everything that I wear in here. And most of all my clothes, any casual clothes I have paint on them. Can y'all see the color? Yes, all shirts are paint shirts. That's right, Julie. Thanks, Colleen. I'm going to try to be a little quick about it so you can see me do some other things. And you don't have to start with the background, but I think it's smart to do so because then you don't have to worry so much about getting paint on the little bits, the little swirls and everything. You don't have to worry about getting paint on because you can just color over that. So for instance, like right here, see how I got some paint on the little swirl? It's not going to matter because I can color over that. But if you start with the little swirls and then want to paint the background, then you've got to be real careful if you don't want to get the paint on those parts. But if you start with the background, then you don't have to be as careful. Okay, I got something on my glasses. Let me clean them off. Oh. And my paint does dry pretty quick because I've got 6 lights and a fan on. I got a fan blowing on me. I got the air conditioner on. And I have 6 lamps. 6 lamps on, so yeah, it dries out pretty quick. How was your weekend, Vicki? Were you okay? I wasn't online that much this weekend because I was gone. I was telling the girls I haven't even been to the bookstore in 2 weeks. Because I've been gone 2 weekends in a row. Let's see. Well, actually 3 weekends in a row. Let's see, we went to the museum last week. Well, we went to the lake 1 week, the museum the next week, and then this weekend I went to Denise's. So I've been gone like 3 weeks, 3 weekends in a row. You don't, oh yeah, well, yeah. Are you down under, Trish? Oh yeah, you're in South Africa, yeah. Y'all are on the opposite. You're the opposite. Okay, so this one is going to be the green. Okay, let me clean my brush again. Yeah, same for like Australia. I think they're the opposite too. Okay, wait a minute. I got to get some of this paint off my table where I drug my sleeve through it. Otherwise, I'm only dragging my hand through it too. Okay. I think I'll do the same on the other. I think it's pretty much mirrored. I think the 2 pages have these different designs in the center of the circle, but they're mirrored pages, so I'm going to just do them the same on both sides. I'm going to go ahead and mirror them, just carry it right over to this side. Oh, okay, Vicki. Yeah, I mean, I try to keep up a little bit on Twitter if somebody tweeted me directly, but other than that, I was kind of out of the loop over the weekend, which that's not a bad thing. Sometimes it's nice to be out of the loop for a while. You know what I mean, Vern? But one thing about doing a color book page like this, it's easier for me to read chat and interact with you guys. And again, I wanted to say that I have been getting a lot of comments on YouTube of the you streamers that they really, have enjoyed when I repeat back things y'all say. They kind of get a kick out of some of the funny things you guys say. And they're always asking, who's Jean, and who's Paula, and who's this? Get a lot of comments and questions on who everybody is, because everybody can't be here, right? Not everybody can be here live. So I appreciate both platforms, being able to interact with people that just comment on the recordings, and then, of course, all of y'all that are here live. Oh, that's awesome, Vicki. Okay, so you can see how I'm carrying over to the second page over here. So now I'm going to do this section here. And links are always open if you're here and you want to talk about, you know, if nobody knows you, feel free to put in your YouTube or Ustream link so everybody can get to know you guys. Yeah, I know. It's like the YouTubers kind of know you guys because I try to repeat a lot of things when y'all say it, unless of course, you know, I can try to use some discretion and not go, you know, not go cray on what I say. Repeat some things, right? On the recording, but they get a kick out of you guys. They laugh at you guys. They're laughing at you, not with you. They're laughing at you. And I do try, if you're watching this recording on YouTube, I do try to answer within a day. I try to answer comments within a day. You know, so far I'm able to keep up with, you know, comments. Oh, let me say this. I forgot. I'm excited on my YouTube channel. I just passed 7,000 subscribers. I was so excited to see that when I came home from the weekend, coming back from Denise's, and I said, oh my gosh, I got over 7,000 subscribers. I was thrilled. Thrilled, I tell you. Thank you all, everyone that's watching on YouTube. I appreciate that so much. But I do try to answer comments within a day. If you have any questions, or, you know, at least hit the like. I like to at least like your comments, you know, if you say you're watching, because I do appreciate it. I really do. Okay, so there you see, that's a little where I drug my hand through the paint. I'll just go over that. I'll fix it with paint, or a pencil, rather. Oh, thanks, little book owl. That's sweet. All right, so I'm not sure if this is going to, I got to make sure that this comes out even right here, because I'm not sure. Let's see. So this one, let me clean my brush and just make a little thing. So this one will be green. This one's going to be blue. I'm just going to put the color right there. This one will be green. This one will be blue. That's blue there. So this one will be green. Okay. I want them to come out even, right? Okay. I'm just going to kind of do those swirls of different something. Okay. Thanks, guys. Thanks. I appreciate it. And I gotta say, the reason I upload to YouTube is because of really two people. Jean, Music Scrap Jean, said, Dee Dee, you need to put, oh, she's still here. She's probably napping because she streams at 4, so she comes here to nap before her show. But Jean said, you need to upload your videos on YouTube. And the other person that has been after me to do that for a long time was Rach. Rach0113, Rach. And she kept telling me, put your videos up on YouTube. You know, because when you stream, you know, after a while, if you don't save them yourself, they're gone off of Ustream. They're only, you know, you can keep about, you know, depending on how long your videos are, of course. But all right, so now I'm going to work my way backwards with this one. And again, I've got the wax paper here, just at least till I get the edges all done. That way I can just go right off the edge and not worry about gluing 2 pages together. We're gonna glitter this. We are going to glitter this up with some stickles. We'll see how far we get. I don't know if we're gonna get over to the time chamber. depending on how far we get on this. Because it does take time, guys. Thanks, DeMonte. Thanks, Anna. Hey, HD, good to see you. Where did I see you the other day? Jean's house? Somebody's house. Anyway, I saw you somewhere last week. I should say the other day, it was last week. Good to see you, HD. It's good, always glad to see all of you whenever I catch your name scrolling by. Hey, Buff. Yeah, Buff wants glitter. But the glitter is like the last thing you do. And I don't know how we're going to finish this. But I do enjoy coloring, painting. It's kind of mixed media. It's really not just color because I do a little everything on there. I've even put the collage. You know, I've collaged on some pages. Because, you know, you're the boss of your color book. Yes, it would be Stickles. The art cards video on another tab that I've been watching. Art cards video. Okay, I don't know what that is, Peggy Sue. Sorry. The only art cards I have are the Kyla Give Hand ones. Or maybe you're talking about, oh, you're watching, you mean where I've painted them? I've done the collage cards, you mean? Art cards can mean so many things anymore. That's another thing we haven't done for a while. Maybe if I stream later this week, we'll do a, you know, pick from Kyla's cards or from Jean's jar of prompts. They're really not Jean's prompts. They're a whole bunch of people's art prompts that I have in a jar. That just happened to be recorded on Jean's show, is all. Glitter's the last thing you do before you pack the moving van. Hey, RV. Oh, Juanita goes, you have to finish it. I don't know when I'll make another Monday. Yeah, and Juanita, if y'all don't know, she spins Juanita on YouTube. She does, well, she does all kinds of, she does her own yarn dyeing and spinning and all that, but she also has gardening. She has a little bit of everything. She used to do more drawing. I don't know if she's recorded any drawing videos lately, but she's a busy one, that Juanita. She's a busy one. Okay, so now I want a little bit more glue on this stripe here. And then a green on this one. You like prompt days, Carrie Ann? Yeah, we haven't done it. Whoa, got a big paint booger right there. We haven't done a prompt day for a while. Animal prompts or just on the art scroll in general. You know, the big art scroll where we do prompts on the big art scroll. We haven't done one of those in a while. That'd be fun. Maybe we'll do that later this week. I'll see how my week goes. Is Jean going to jelly print today? Yeah, see, that's another thing I haven't done for a long time. But, you know, again, when I jelly print, it's like if Jean's not here to kind of give me some direction or carry. I'm not really a jelly plating queen like some of the girls are here. But I do have fun with it every now and then. And then same thing for my Cameo. I love my Cameo. And I do have some people that have requested, and I volunteered to send some cuts from my Cameo. And I did I did go to Hobby Lobby, yeah, I think mine's in Hobby Lobby, to pick out this paper last week. Just ran in and got this, a 12 by 12 pack of just plain old Paper Studio cardstock. It was on sale for 50% off. Was it the week before? Anyway, but I needed some more just plain 12 by 12 cardstock for the Cameo because I try to cut everything out in white, then you can color it any color you want. But I do need to cut out some more things. Okay, so there we go. You can see we got that side, and now we're moving over here and doing the exact same thing on this side. Jelly plating. Did Jean say she was going to jelly plate today? I was going to say, it is a gelatin. Where's mine? Let's see if I can put my hand. Let me find mine real quick. And I'm kind of zoomed in, so it is like a gel. Now, mine, they're dirty, mind you, because I really clean mine. But it's got plastic coating on both. You take the plastic off, and it's this like jelly stuff that you do mono printing on. Although we get more than one print out of it, but that's what it is. You put paint on it and stencils, die cuts, and you make your own mono printing with a jelly plate. And it's called, because that's the name of the brand. So there you can kind of see some samples there. So that's what a jelly printing is. And Jean Jean's awesome at it. Well, there's a lot of girls here that are, but Jean's where I get all my tips and tricks from. You like the colors, Lindsay? Okay. Take a sip of coffee here, guys. All right. Again, this show may be kind of laid back, maybe even, dare I say, boring. No. But, hopefully you're working along, doing something with it, because this does just take a while if you want to do a full-on color book page. But this is how I start my pages. I start with the background usually and get that in, because then that way if it does get over any of the details, you can just color pencil over the details. Oh, thanks, Terry. Yeah, it's jellyarts.com for anybody that may not know what jelly printing is. Jellyarts.com. Thanks, Terry. That's the link. Okay, so now I'm going to go back over here, clean my brush. Go back over to the green. I'll probably do some shading around these little swirls. I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking in my head where I want to go next with it. And you don't have to, I do kind of rush on the show because I want to get as much done as I can. But when you're doing this, you want to chill, put on some music or somebody else's stream or YouTube or something and just kind of chill and do it. You don't have to go fast like I'm doing on a show. Did you buy new cut files on the No, and hi, by the way, Carol, I let that go. I let it go by. I saved the email. Yeah, Silhouette, a Cameo, the Silhouette had a 50% off sale. I think it was a week before last. I didn't buy any. I did the time before, like maybe 2 months ago. Excuse me, 2 months ago I did. But I didn't get any of the 50% cuts off this time. I'm barely using the cuts that I have. I've got like 200 or 300 cut files. Oh, and Jean, are you here? Jean, I need you to send me the SVG file for your hands. I've had a couple people ask if I could cut them the hands, because I know you don't have time to do it. And also you're bad at mailing. So can you send me that file so I could cut some hands for a couple people? I might have to get you on I know they changed some things. I hope I can still do it. Know how to do it. Move the SVG file over to the Cameo and cut those. So I haven't done that for a long time. Before they did the update. I don't know if anything's changed on the update. Thanks, Jean. Don't send it, and don't send me anything yet, Suzanne, because I don't know that. I got to make sure I can do it, Suzanne. I got to make sure I can do the transfer. They changed some things. So just, wait. Let me make sure I can do it first. Okay, so I'm getting there, guys. I got a little blob of paint right there. Go. Probably drug my arm through it again. I'm trying to remember to stay in camera, guys, because I'm so zoomed in. I don't even know how much you can see, but we're working it. All right, the next one. I keep looking over at this side to make sure I'm coloring them the same, like the mirror image. But I do try to follow. There's a couple people I follow that do color book coloring. I can't think of their names right now. There's like two. PETA is one. And if y'all have links for anybody, put them in. So what I was going to say, though, if any of you here know of anybody that does color book pages that you like to watch, feel free to share the links. Make that a few people, Debbie. Yes, Debbie and Suzanne want hands. Just import the file to the Cameo. Well, that's what I used to do that, Deb. There's Debbie Boring and Artsology Deb. Import the file to the Cameo. Yes, I did that at first, Deb, but then since the updated download a few months ago, I don't know how long ago it was, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months ago, then I tried it again and it didn't work. Yeah, PETA Hewitt. Thanks, DeMonte. Yeah, she does awesome color book pages. So y'all go and feel free to put links. Bye, Peggy Sue. Hi and bye. Thanks for being here. Okay. Okay, now I want a green. I keep cleaning my brush because I'm going from color to color here with the same brush. Jalapeno Girl. I don't think I know her, DeMonte. Let me write that one down too. I mean, I know PETA, but I don't know Jalapeno Girl. Jalapeno? Jalapeno Girl, DeMonte said. Okay. Jalapeno Girl. If you have links, put them in. I can't go to links right now, but I can write down names. Chris Chang. Okay, I don't know her either, Judy. Yeah, y'all got some good new ones then I haven't seen. Chris, C-H-E-N, where'd it go? G. Chris Chang. And Jalapeno Girl. Oh, you just had to go get coffee. Oh, okay. Well, welcome back, Peggy Sue. Okay, so, and I don't mind, I just don't mind at all promoting all kinds of channels. Y'all know. That's what we do here. Let's just say that's what I do. I don't know if it's what everybody does, but I like to, I like to promote other Ustreamers, YouTubers, websites, blogs. I like promoting other people. I want everybody to succeed in the arts. And Iffy, make sure you email me now, okay? Make sure you email me. All right, getting over to the green here. Hope it's showing up. I hope I don't have it too flashed out, guys. I try to darken it some, but I don't want it to be so dark that it's like, Okay, thanks, Iffy. Alrighty. right, now let's go. This one's blue and then this one's green. So again, you know, I am kind of hurrying through this, but you don't have to, you know. Coloring's supposed to be relaxing and, you know, meditative and enjoying it, not rushing through it. So just because I'm going really fast doesn't mean you want to. You want to take your time and enjoy the process, right? Thanks, Vicki. Okay, I hope so. Because on my camera it looks a little flashed out. Sometimes, you know, I'll go back and I'll check to see how it looks. And sometimes they're too dark, sometimes they're too light. And it's just hard to tell as the streamer how it comes across sometimes. Although I do my best to look on that little screen and tell. Because when I watch videos, when I watch recordings, I watch them full screen. You know, when I'm watching somebody else's videos, their recordings, whether it's Ustream or you know, YouTube, I put my laptop full screen. And most times that's where I watch. I don't rarely watch. I mean, like I watched a couple of videos when I was at Denise's on my phone. But for the most part, I watch all my videos on my laptop full screen. And it does make a difference, you know, whether you watch it on a phone or if you watch it full screen on a computer, right? You finished your Secret Garden 2016 calendar May page. Yay! Yeah, Secret Garden's another one that's got a lot of detail, right? But if we do another project after this one, depending on how long it takes, so it's only 11 right now. Jean doesn't stream till 4, so if y'all have things to do, come and go. That's, you know, I do. You know, I'm watching somebody, like if I'm watching Jean and I got to get the big salad, you know, I'll either take her to the kitchen. You watch full screen too, Peggy Sue? Yeah. I'll either take the person to the kitchen or, you know, sometimes you got to just miss stuff to step away or do other things. If you're watching live. Of course, if you're watching a recording, you know, just pause it, but yeah. But I like watching long videos when I'm working. It's like, you know, got company with me when I'm working. I finished a pet portrait over the weekend, which somebody here, let's see if she's still here. I don't know if she's still here. Should be getting today in the mail. Oh, I think she's here. She should be getting, she said I could post it online after I don't like to post my commission portraits until after the person gets them. And then with their permission, some people don't want their portraits that they buy from me online. So then I don't post them. But I try to let the person get their commissions first, so they're the first ones to see them before I post them. How often do I art every day, all day, Trish. Monday through Friday. Unless I'm not here. I mean, if I go to Denise's or something, but otherwise, yeah. I art every day. That's my job. That's my job. Okay, so, all right, so you can see, look, it's starting to curl a little because of the wet, but that will flatten out too. You can either just kind of roll the pages back, or by the time you get done with everything else, they'll bend back. All right, so now I'm going to take out the wax paper because I've already got the edges all the way to the edge, but they might curl a little, and it depends on the thinness or thickness of your paper. You always want to test whatever you're using on either a back page or, you know, because every paper in every color book is different. Oh, yes, I answered. Thanks, Vicki. I watched your character faces and you painted faces. 4 faces. Oh, good, Peggy Sue. Yeah, the character faces are fun. You don't have to think about them. You just draw some circles or some ovals or, and some dividing lines on the face, and then just make them fun and funny. They're not supposed to be, those are not supposed to be realistic faces. The character faces book, they're supposed to be not realistic, Oh, sorry, Trish. I'm glad you made it back. So there you go as far as the background. Now, again, you can just kind of roll the pages to flatten them out if they curl on the edges, because I did go all the way to the edge. Okay. So, thanks everybody for being here. Now, the Anamorphia book, I do a lot of big washes in that book, and it does wrinkle quite a bit. But by the time if you do a backside in it and color pencil on top, let me get it. It flattens out. It flattens out quite a bit. But that one is as far as doing washes on the pages. These pages are pretty thin. They're pretty thin. They're not as thin as some, but anyway. So in the Anamorphia, which Kirby's got out a new one, I can't say it. It's Imagination with Amorphia. Imagimorphia. And I'm thinking that it's probably out at my bookstore now, so the next time I go to Books A Million or Barnes & Noble, I'm going to look for his second book, Imagimorphia, which you can order now. I mean, and it might even be in some people's bookstores, but you can order that now. Did I miss a question? Your mom asking you who they were. I missed who they were, Peggy Sue, when I went over to the bookshelf. Embrace the Wrinkles, yeah. It's out in June? I thought some people already had it. Some people have already got it, I think. Terry, I think it's out. So anyway, I'll show you a couple ones that I've done in here, like this double page spread of these fish. And they're flattened out now, but when I remember doing them, because this is washes of paint, right? And then color pencil on top. So they do wrinkle. Yours came from the Book Depository in the UK. Thanks, Carrie, for posting that link. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I think it is out. All right, so then I have these owls that I've done. And again, the background is all acrylic paint. This is just solid black, maybe just a tiny bit of water just to keep the paints flowing, right? But the background is all black on this case. And then some washes of blue and brown. And then color pencil over the top. What else do we have in here? All right, so here's a good example. This one's just got just the whale on a wash on the whale. So can you see how the pages are kind of crinkly? But by the time I get this all painted in, it does smooth out. Not in the U.S. yet. Okay. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I haven't been to the bookstore in 2 or 3 weeks. Probably, well, 2 weeks at least. Okay, then let's see what else is in this one. Yeah, there's the octopuses again. This is just a wash of purple. And that's all I got on that one. But you can see where it's wrinkled a little bit. See the wrinkle? But when I get the background painted in, it goes away. Okay, then here's the iguanas. I've got quite a bit done in this book. I really like this book and my Doodlers Anonymous. So I'm just kind of going around because I'm in the camera. I'll show you some of the Doodlers Anonymous too. The snake one's not done. But here's an example of putting your own designs. There's no design there. I just put my own. And that's kind of what I want to do in here. I want to put some of my own designs. Then I got this dragon lizard, whatever they're called, these dragons. Partially colored. This one I was doing online, and here's where you can see, so here's just with the wash, and here's with color pencil. Here's with the wash, and here's with color pencil. So you can see I put a wash here. See the yellow? A wash of yellow paint as a base, and then go in and shade with color pencil. Same thing around here. This is what it looks like with just the wash here, and then gone in with color pencil. Your Anamorphy is well loved. Let's see if I got anything else in here. Just a wash on there, but you can see where it's wrinkled a little bit. But by the time you get the background done, I'm telling you, it flattens out. And then the other one that I really, really, really love is my Doodlers Anonymous. And they did an article on me on their website, so a few months ago, Doodlers Anonymous. And if you don't belong, you don't have to necessarily sign up. I mean, they love you to sign up for on their website, just to be like part of the tribe. But they have awesome artists. This is one of the most creative sites for a variety of different styles and different artists. Doodlers Anonymous, I'm not talking about just the color book part, but just Doodlers Anonymous. Komodo Dragon, yeah, Komodo Dragon, yeah, Komodo Dragon, thank you. So yeah, at least go look at Doodlers Anonymous, their blog website, and they've been around a long time. So I love this book. Here's a page that I'm still in progress on. This one right here. And here's what I mean about being the boss of your color book. You can add your own backgrounds and things. You don't have to just go with just what's there. I added my own words in the speech bubble. So you can see that. I added artist in space, added all the fuzz around the astronaut. And all these little designs in here, I added that myself. So you can add all your own little things. You don't have to just go with just what's on a page. Feel free to add your own stuff, right? I love this color book. I mean, it's just awesomeness. And I know I'm zoomed in really close, so it's probably hard to see much, but I've shown this many times. And then here's his jean jacket. I put the tattoo on. This is also the owner of Doodlers Anonymous, and he did this page. So I put no, he didn't do this page. Zuzu did this page, but this is the owner. So I put the tattoo on him. Let's see. So here's another example of adding your own stuff. All the little grasses, the little marks in the trees, the sweater vest. I did all this myself, all the little argiling or weaving. So you can add your own designs, all those little lines and stuff. So don't feel like just because it's a flat tree doesn't mean you can't put your own leaves and designs on it, right? What else is there? Do this one. Color books make you sweat, Miko? Oh my gosh, girl. And then this one, this monster here, sea monster. Well, all this was just white. So I made it look like a stormy sky. Added some more hairs on the monster. Put some hairs blowing on his head right there. So you just make it your own. Make it your own. What else do I have colored in here? This one right here. This one did not have a lantern. I drew my own lantern and some of my own swirls and stuff. I painted in the water. This was not there. I just painted that in myself with acrylic paints. And I really like this one. And they're all different artists that did these. All different artists did the drawings, and I tried to, either, outline them or make the artist names stand out. And I try to find them. If I find them on Instagram, I follow the artist on Instagram. Because they're awesome artists, I'm telling you. It's just, every page is different. None of the sky this was just white background. So I put my own painty sky and snow drifts going across. So you can just make it your own pages. And then here's the Converse tennis shoe pile. I made it have like water dripping from all the shoes. So anyway, that's the Doodlers Anonymous. So I wanted to show you that you don't have to just leave things plain. You can add your own texturing or designs or whatever in your pages. Dr. Snuggle. Okay. So let's see what else I want to be able to cover. So what I'll want to do with the backgrounds here, I might want to put some like either white or another color of a swirl. I could do all kinds of swirls in there. But I think I want to do some shading too. So let me move the baby wipes. Let me get some color pencil. Let me get a couple color pencils that I want to use. Let's see if that's going to be dark enough. Yeah, that should work. And a minty green. Minty green. Let's see. I have to get out my greens. I don't have a minty green in here. Let me get my greens. Yeah, this kind of, let's see how this one compares. It's almost too much the same. This one's a lighter version. Yeah, we'll go with those two. Okay. Let me sharpen. I got keep a little jar here with a couple of different pencil sharpeners so I can just sharpen right on my desk. So, is that going to break? So what I want to do, and this doesn't have to necessarily be done now. I'm going to just do a little bit of it just so you can see some of it. Because again, I'm not going to finish this, guys. I mean, I'm going to be realistic. This double page spread is not going to get done. But because it's so similar all the way across, you can see, like, when I start shading here, it's going to be the same as what I'm going to do here. It's going to be the same as what I'm going to do here. So you'll get the idea. My throat's starting. I'm going to have to go get some hot coffee here in a minute. All right, so what I'm going to do, maybe, I don't know if I want to zoom in anymore. Maybe not yet. So I'm just going to use this color of green was Pistachio Mint. Okay, this pencil it's just called light green, I think, light green. But it's kind of just a little darker than the Pistachio Mint. So I'm just going to go with a little bit darker color, and I'm just going to start shading along, just to give it a little bit more depth along all the all the outlines. And then just kind of blend it in. And then just kind of lightly pull out the color, just kind of blend it out. Just to give it more than just the flatness of the paint, because I'm going to put designs in here, but I just want a little bit of depth closer to the swirls. Oh, I have to brag on Cam. Cam is a sophomore in high school, And y'all met him here, and we did the FaceTime a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, where I had him show some of his sketchbooks. He got, for his school, most artistic for the year. And he's just a sophomore. I thought that was awesome. He got most artistic of the year. And they have a publication. I'm going to have to buy it. He only had the one copy, and he got his copy for free. So I'm going to have to buy my own copy. But they have a publication. Their high school puts out a little booklet-like thing every year. And it's got photography, poetry, short stories, paintings. And he was published in that as well. And I read some of the poetry and short stories out of that book. And it's probably got maybe, I don't know how many people, 25, 30 maybe a little bit more. People that are published in their high school, like, journal, if you want to call it that. But it's like a book. It's kind of like it's like a mini book. And one of his his paintings got published in that. And then, but I read some of those stories, and oh my gosh, those high schoolers, I was impressed. Yeah, thanks guys for the congratulations. No, I still haven't got a prom picture. His date's mom has the pictures on her phone. So he has to get with his date to get his mom to get the pictures to get, yeah, I don't have a prom pictures yet. I know. I mean, I have the one picture of him, right, that I showed y'all, but I don't have their couple picture. I know, isn't that awesome? Thanks, guys. Everybody's saying congrats to Cam. He will be 17, so yeah. So again, I'm just kind of, it's very subtle. I'll try to hold it up here in a minute. It's very subtle, just adding a little bit of darkness and depth around the swirls here and just kind of blending it out. You can take more time again. I'm kind of rushing here. This needs to be that color too, so I'll put that in. So I want to do a green section and then one of the blue sections. Then I'll add some other things in there, and then we'll do some of the designs. I hope are we still focused in, guys? I hope. The light changes in here with the sun going over the house, and it does change. So I'm trying to stay focused and in camera and so let's see if you can see that. So it's real subtle, just a little bit. You might be able to see it better when I do the blue, okay? Because it's a little bit darker. But this gets your edges crisp again where you had paint. Your paint may have not been real smooth right along some of these edges. Well, the pencil will crisp it up, and then you can feather it out. It looks fine? Okay, everybody's saying this looks fine. So if you're watching this recording and it doesn't look fine, we're blaming the girls. Just saying, because they said it looks fine. It is kind of hard to tell. I mean, I'm looking at a screen this big, right? I'm looking at a screen this big. I can't go full screen while I'm doing this or I won't be able to see the chat. So I'm watching on the screen this big and they're saying it's fine, so. See? And it's a gentle touch. I mean, you don't need a lot of pressure when you're going over acrylic paint because it gives it tooth. There's tooth from the paint that just grabs the pencil. So, the pressure is so light. I wish you could see. I mean, I can hold the pencil this far back and still do the same. It's just very light pressure. Okay? And then all this shadowing, when you go around, and this, I don't know if that's quite dark enough that I'd want, maybe, no, I think I'm going to leave it like that. It's not as contrasted as the blue, but. Oh, okay, so Trina's watching on her TV, and it's fine. Okay, Trina. Thanks, Miss Trina. Okay. And you can, take time to smooth it out nicely. You just got to, if you want to feather it out, you got to kind of be real gentle there. It just kind of crisps up the lines that you painted. And then you can do a couple different things. I haven't decided what I want to do yet. I should probably do a little practice something on another piece of paper. But what I'm thinking is, now I would do this same thing with all these, right? I'd go in here with each one and shade around each one of these swirls. Every one. The exact same thing that I did here and here, you want to do around every one. See, I just did it around this one and around this one. And I could actually feather out just a little bit more. Okay. But you do that with all these different ones. And obviously you can see, I do not have the, we'd be here all day just doing that. Okay. Just doing this, the shading. And I want to show you more than just that. Okay, but you would do the same thing with all these different base coated with acrylic paint areas. All right, but what I would like to do now is I want to get a couple markers, and I will have to kind of do a test on a piece of paper to see how dark they are. And let's see, let me get a piece of paper. And see if that's a shade of green I want. This is a little bit lime than the mint, but I probably don't have a marker that's going to work for, that's too dark, so I'd rather go with the lime. I want it subtle. And when I put the lime on top of this, it'll probably be okay. But again, you can't, this is more minty. Let's see what that is. That's too blue. This would almost work better on the blue. Remember, these are just the Crayola Super Tip Kids markers, water-based. And it does make a huge difference when it's shaded, especially when you do the whole thing, because it's going to be really heavy shaded right along. I'll do a little bit more. We'll see how much time. But when you, especially right around the center of this, it'll make it this really pop. This will stand out more because it's really heavily shaded right around the disc, right? Okay, so I want to pick a couple of colors here that I'm thinking this blue might work for in here as one of the lines, but it's not going to work on top here what I'm planning. I'm thinking the lime looks a little lime here, but when I put it on here, it will probably be okay. So I'm going to go with those two colors and see how dark that is. That one will probably work. Okay, so I'm going to go with these three colors for now. All right, so again, any water-based marker or watercolor markers, Copics would probably even go through on top of the acrylic paint, but definitely Copics will go through where there's no paint. I always stress that, okay, because this paper is not made for alcohol-based markers. Yeah. Yeah, I'll do one more here, just so everybody's saying how they can really see how much a difference it makes. So I'll do one more swirly area here. How much difference it makes once you put and it really does. But the thing about putting the base coat of the acrylic paint, you've already got a smooth base to work on top of. Now, if you want to just color it all with color pencils, that's fine too. Or you could do a whole thing of marker, water-based markers. You can't go in there with a Copic and color that in unless you're ready for it to go through the other side. My advice to be is if you really like a color book page and you want to use Copics, make a copy of that for yourself to color because it will go through, okay? I know I repeat myself on that, but the first time I don't tell somebody, don't use Copics in your color book, and it goes through, someone's going to say, why didn't you tell me? My Copics would go through. Always, and every color book's a little different. So, use a page in the back of your book or the front of your book to test out whatever it is you're going to use. Water medium, watercolors, Copics if you so decide, and see what happens. Okay, see what happens when it goes through. And I know some people are always asking me about using like mineral spirits and things like that. I don't use it. I just like using just pencil. But again, that's going to go through your page. Okay, the mineral spirits to blend your pencils, that's going to go through your page too. So you want to test all that stuff before you ruin a book. Just a light touch. And this is just with one color. I mean, you could obviously blend more colors. Color books are awesome for practicing your blending, your shading, skin tones, all that. It's just color books, I don't care what anybody says. Color books are teachable moments. They are teachable moments. Okay? Because you can get so much practice in with a color book with all different kinds of things. All right, so let me go over here. Let me sharpen this one a little. Then I've got to go get some coffee before I start moving on. Hey, Sherry. How you doing? Sherry's doing, I don't know if it's still open, but Sherry was doing a secret sister swap amongst those of us here. Now, I'm not doing it. I don't have time, but, I've done them before, and they're always fun. So, I don't know, Sherry, is it still open to more people? I don't know. So, it's real subtle right here. See, that's because the colors are very close. So let me just do this section here. I'm going to go grab some coffee, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do with the markers. Just had a deja vu moment. I was on a boat. I don't know. Just had a deja vu moment. It's because of all this ocean stuff. Wait for Sherry to say. You like the subtlety of it, Colleen? Yeah. Okay, bye, Peggy. Yeah, will somebody put my email in there for Peggy? Carrie or Janet or whoever's left? Vicky, whoever's awake. If any of my mods are awake, would you put my email in there, please? Janet, did you get your email? I mean, did you get your mail yet, Janet? Janet, you should have. I haven't been around Twitter that much this weekend, so I don't know if you got your package yet. Well, it's just a little, padded envelope, but I didn't know if you got it yet. Sherry goes, what? Sherry, I'm asking you about your Secret Sister swap, if it's still open. If you're still taking more people in the Secret Sister swap or not. Okay, so there you go. You can kind of see. And you could even make it darker in here. You could go back in here with the other pencil color, with the teal, and add just the smallest amount right in the crevice there to make it stand out even just a little bit more. We'll just put a little bit there. So just put a tiny bit, and then I'll go back over that with the mint and blend that out so it's real subtle. See? Bussy. I get so mad at myself when I say that. Oh, you're opening right now. Okay, Janet. Okay, so anyway. So you can see that I'm blending out just that extra little darker teal that I put right in the crevices there, close to the center of the medallion. So you can see how that makes it a little bit more, have more depth. So again, I'm just going to put a little bit of that teal color in there and then go back over it with the mint and blend it in. You know what I need to do? Well, that might be really boring for some. I don't know if I should do it on a live show. Is take all the pencils and do like all kinds of blending take like what happens when you put green over blue, blue over green, and just do, some little samples for you guys. I mean, I do have my own charts, but I don't think I've ever made any. Good morning. Hey, Sarah. Aw, you're welcome, Janet. I thought you'd like that little book because, I don't know, just seemed like you. All right, so there we go. And you can blend these out even more. You can take lighter colors, or even if I went over it with the mint just to blend. As a blending, not as a color, but just as a blend. Kind of smooth out some of the darker blue with the lighter blue. Let's see if you can see the difference here when I get done with that. I keep saying I'm going to go get some coffee. But you can get rid of almost any pencil lines with soft blending. Christy's card is... Yes, I know. Yeah, so I don't know if Christy's here, but Christy MV, I don't see her. But yeah, I sent Janet one of your cards. She's saying that she likes it. So if you watch the recording, Christy, your cards that you sent are making their rounds, as are everybody's that send them in. I just can't really sometimes remember who I sent which ones to because I send out so much happy mail. But don't forget, tomorrow's Colleen's birthday. How things like yeah, if y'all have anything, if y'all are talking to me, please put it in caps because the chat scrolls by pretty quickly, and if you're just talking to each other, I don't catch every bit of that. But if you put it in caps, I know you're talking to me, so I try to catch that. All right, so there. So here's without it blended. Here's with it a little bit more blended. I don't know if you can tell the difference there. And then if it gets too light again, you can go back in with the dark again and add another layer. Because you're so light, it's a light touch, you can get lots of layers as long as you keep it thin, keep it light, keep it soft. You can keep going in there and getting it built up, okay? So I'm going to go over this one again just a little. Just to blend out some of the pencil lines. Because I'm only using one color right there, right? So and then if it lightens it up too much, you just go back in there with another layer. But it's very light touch. Thanks, Terry. I like these. I thought they would be some pretty oceany colors, you know. For those of y'all just joining us, we're working in the Lost Ocean. Johanna Basford. I don't know if Mom's here. She said she was going to try to stop by. She has this book. I think she has this book. I know she has a secret garden, and she just ordered her a Beatrix Potter book that I got her for Mother's Day. Well, actually, she got 3 color books. I don't know. I don't remember what the other 2 were. But I said, Mom, I was going to buy you some color books for Mother's Day, but I didn't know which ones you might want. So I let her order her own. And Beatrix Potter, I used to buy her every Mother's Day and birthday. The Beatrix Potter, they were imported from England. The original, like Beatrix Potter that Hallmark used to carry years ago. Then they quit carrying them. I don't know if it was a licensing issue, the license ran out or something, but they stopped carrying, and this was quite a few years ago, the original Beatrix Potter figurines. But she had a lot of those. All right, so there you go. You can see, again, now if I want to darken that back up a little, I just go back in there with a little darker. I'm only using these 2 pencils, by the way. I'm going back and forth with 2 pencils here. Blending and shading with just these 2 pencils. All right, now I'm going to get in with some markers here in a second, but I want to first go get me some hot coffee, okay? Because my throat, I can feel, is starting to get really dry. You collect Beatrix Potter too? Oh, you got your birthday card and Eileen? Oh, and you got an Eileen birthday card. Yeah. I don't see Eileen yet. Sometimes Eileen doesn't come around until later. All right, I'll be right back, guys. Let me go get some hot coffee. So, yeah, Mom's gone to Beatrix Potter's, I don't know if it's still there, that a Beatrix Potter house or shop or something in UK. I don't know if it was in London or outside of London, but Mom's been to England and Wales and yeah, Fairy Treasure's birthday was a while back, but some of her mail didn't make it to us, so I sent her another card, and that one made it, so yay. I don't see Eileen. I don't see her, but Angie Bell, My Fairy Treasures, Eileen, if you watch this recording, she likes your card. So, okay. So now what I want to do is, this will be the same, all of these swirl, all of this. So you can see how it took probably a good, at least 20 minutes, right? Just to shade that little bit in. So you can imagine how long it's going to take to do this whole thing. And I would probably even do it a little bit more blendy and a little bit more subtly, you know, on my own, right? But I want to show you how you can use some markers in it too. Now, I am going to put something behind. I'll do a little spot test to see if it's going to go through. I probably won't mind if it goes through on this side. This is probably not a page I'm going to color. I don't do a lot of these full-on pattern pages unless I'm going to use it to put in a journal or something. So if it went through on this, it wouldn't bother me so much. Let's see what's on this side. I wouldn't want to ruin that, but, you know, hopefully it won't go through because of the acrylic paint. And I'll try to keep a light touch where I'm going to use it on the white areas. But you do want to be careful because if you start scrubbing, I can just probably go in here with a line and it's not going to matter. But if you start rubbing and scrubbing with the marker, even the water-based ones, it will eventually, just the water itself is going to seep through, right? Okay, so but I should have had some cardstock behind it anyway because of the pencil pressure. Let me get a couple sheets. Piece of cardstock here. Got some heavy cardstock that I want to put behind. All right, so what I'm thinking is I don't know if I want swirls in each one or if I want some swirls and some dots. I'm thinking that might be good. But my idea is to take, and I want to test the green because I'm thinking this green might be the best on this one, is to go over with my own designs. So I'm thinking I want some swirls. Okay, that's too green. So while it's wet, I'm going to try to, that's too green. So I'm going to go in here with this pink, more of the minty color. I want to just do some subtle swirls of my own. And it'll take a second to dry, okay? So while it's wet, you can kind of rub some of it off if it's, you know, you can get away with doing that. But I wouldn't trust that you can do that. Because it's going to depend on how much pencil you got on there. It's going to depend on how much, you know, other things. But I'm just thinking I want some swirls in here that are subtle. They're not going to be like stand out as much as this. And just kind of swirl all the way through. Can you see that? Maybe a couple down in here, maybe one down in there, maybe one more there. And then I think I want dots too. Do I want dots and swirls? Let's see. All right, I think I'm going to go ahead and edge. All right, here's where I need to probably zoom in more because you're not going to see anything this far away. So let's see. All right, let me refocus, guys. Pretty good. All right, so like that, but I'm going to take that same marker and right along this edge, there's a design right there. I don't know if y'all can see. I think I lost focus again. Hang on, guys. Where's my focus card? Darken it just a tad. Let's try that. Okay. Yeah. So now you can see the little line right along the edge there. Okay. So now I'm just going to kind of color in with markers right along that edge. And I'm going over it like twice. Okay. So I'm going to check it here in a minute. This is not going to go through. This is the swirls. That's not going to go through because it's on top of acrylic paint. But right here where I'm straight on the color book, I'm only doing this, look, I'm doing it once, twice. That's all the color I'm putting on it, just two passes, if you will. And I'm going to make sure that's not going through. Okay, that's not going to go through. Now, this right here is from where I painted all the way to the edge, and it kind of seeped over. The paint kind of seeped over the edge. But this right here, where I'm doing those swirls, it did not go through. Okay, now this is not going to go through because, again, that's on top of a layer of acrylic paint. So it's kind of protected. So I'm just thinking I might want a couple more little swirls here. Just add some more little details. Just to give it more watery look, but very subtle. You know, it's not like real dark black or anything, right? And I want to do the same thing with this, but with the different, you know, the darker turquoise color. Let's see. Okay, so again, I'm going to go along the edge first here. Go right along the edge of the design that's already drawn on. Okay, and I think I will go ahead and do a darker line right along the color book line. It might be too much, so I might go back in there with the pencil and kind of blend that out so it's not a straight on harsh line. Something like that. And then I'm going to do my own swirls again with the, and they're just random. They're not any certain kind of, I just want some swirls in there. Give it more a wavy look, right? And somebody's tweeting me. Something like that. What that shows. You like the swirls? And then I'll do that on all of them. So look, this one's already got shading on it. So I think I do want, I'm going to go ahead and do a darker line right along that edge. And again, if I don't want it such a sharp line, then I can go in here and just kind of shade it out just a little. I could have done this with pencil too. Just made it a little darker. I just don't want it a harsh single line. Okay, but then I'm going to go in here with some more swirls. I don't know who's tweeting me. Tons of Twitter messages. Somebody's just repeating, they're retweeting some of my tweets. Okay, so just kind of this. No, not just random swirls, just to give it your own flavor. It's your own ocean flavor, right? Because you're the boss of your color book. So there, see? Yeah, you can spend as much time or as little time as you want on the page. But this, so you can see these three sections here, how, you know, different it looks from just this, right? And there's nothing wrong with just the shading, but you might as well play and add your own stuff. I know it makes all the difference, right? Now I can still take these two colors and add, this is where you color in some of the small designs with your markers or gel pens. Markers, gel pens, and it doesn't have to be just these two colors. It's just I'm focusing on these two colors. So let's double check going through. Okay, so it's not going through. We're good. Okay. I'm just looking at it to see where I want different colors, you know, of swirls. And do I want how many other colors I want to bring in. Like some of these thin lines right here, some of these thinner lines, I want to put some of this darker teal color. So all these little bits is what you can color in with markers or color pencils. I just like to use both. And a lot of times it's just going to depend on the tininess of the thing. Like, let me show you back on this page here. Like on this one, it's a lot easier to color this in with marker than it is with pencil. Because now I might have gone over a little bit with pencil right in that dark green, but most of this is all done with marker because it's easier to get a pointy, wet marker in those little bitty spots than it is even a sharp pencil. Know what I mean, Vern? Oh, welcome back, Mel. So it's easier to color those little bitty tiny bits with a marker than it is even with a pencil. But then you can go back in, see where I shaded that a little bit with the pencil. So after you've done some with marker, you can still go in and shade on top. Like for instance, let me get a, let me just take a, let me sharp, got out it sharp though, of course. You got to get a nice sharp point. But for instance, I'm going to do something where you can obviously see it. See these light blue areas there? Those are done with marker. But if I just want a little bit more shading, I could go in there with a pencil. See? I could just go in there just a tiny bit with a pencil to add a little bit more shading on top of the marker. But it's much easier to get in those little areas and get the solid color with a marker. Okay? Again, a water-based marker, not an alcohol-based. Alcohol-based are going to go right through, which again, if you want, you can print it out and do that with your Copics or whatever alcohol-based marker you want. Okay? But then you can go back in there and do a little bit extra shading on top of the marker. I hope that's okay. All right, so I just wanted to show you that. These little tiny bits are much easier to color with a marker. All right, where's my page? Here we go. So you can see I want to do some of these swirls, some of these long. I got to try to keep staying in camera focus because I'm so zoomed in. Or a gel pen. I like these super tips because you can get different, where's my paper? You can get a thin line, you can get a medium line, well that's more of a thick line on the side, but you can get something in between. So because of the bullet tip, you can get different widths. So I really do like these. Plus they just have a lot of good colors. But you could do this with pencil too. Okay. And I usually try to have some kind of a cohesive color all the way around. You know, I carry the color all through everything. Thanks, Kangaroo. And see how the paint's not right up along that edge? Well, that's when you go back in there with a pencil and you're shading it in like we did up here. You'll crisp up you'll crisp up, you know, detail, get all that line perfectly straight with your pencil. Because I know I'm going to go in there and shade with that, so I don't really worry about my painting, my wash or paint getting perfectly along that line, because I know I'm going to go in there with pencil and blend it out, right? So you can see I'm getting the swirls kind of going all the way around. And it does get a little tricky in the center there. So thanks everybody for being here. It's awesome to have over 100 people on a Monday morning. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Okay, so can you kind of see that? And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to, you know, because it's like a mirror image, I'm trying to keep it the same on, you know, both sides of the page here. We'll color in the little seahorse here or something in a minute too. But I just want you to kind of see where it's going, because it's going to be a repetitive pattern going all the way around. So you'll know where we're heading, you know, by just repeating it all the way. All the background's going to be exactly like this. Okay, it's going to be just like this. The shading, the swirls, all of it. Okay. And then this line around here was with this marker. Again, I've just got two shades here. Is that the right one? Yeah. I've got two shades of teal. Well, kind of a minty green, sort of a minty green, or a light teal. We'll see what color that one needs to be. So I'm just following my own lines here. Okay, I want this line here. I want this one darker. And come over here on this side. And I know I'm zoomed in, so that it's kind of tricky to go either too close or... Okay, and then this one needs to... This one right here. You can incorporate some other colors in there too. Okay, so this line right here. I'm trying to find where it goes. Okay. And they got these little rope things kind of around there. Again, I want to show you how I was going to put some glitter, but we'll see how far we can get. So maybe I need to go right into the centers here, because I'm going to want glitter around the circle here. I have it zoomed in just right. Okay. But I'm having to move my book. I'm having to move my book so far left and right that I'm bumping into everything left and right. I'm bumping into pencils on the left, markers on the right. So I'm bumping into things as I try to swirl it around. Okay, so let's see. Let's go back down to these lines here. I'm trying to get it so that everybody can see everything going on. Okay, and one more right here. Got it too far away from me to get a straight line. Okay. You're afraid to start in your book? Well, again, guys, let me say, if you're afraid to start in a book, it's brand new and you don't know where to start, just copy a picture. Copy one of them to practice on. Okay? Get past that fear of ruining your book. If you do one on a piece of cardstock and get over the fear, yeah, pens to the left of me, markers to the right, and here I am stuck in the middle coloring with you. Good one, Julie. Make a copy and get over your fear. Okay? But I'm going to want some more of these swirls to be blue in here. So let me just kind of get in here. And it doesn't, now at this point, if I wanted to shade, I can shade first or last, right? I've got the paint on there. So in this case, let me just go ahead and do one of the swirls, and then I'll show you can still shade. Because this one hasn't been shaded, remember? Only these three have been shaded with extra swirls added. But I'm going ahead and putting this swirl on now. So then we'll shade it, so it doesn't matter which way you go first. All right, so I think I want this swirl to kind of end there because I'll have a lighter one coming along there. So let me go back with the other marker. Where's some of this color? I'm only using 2 colors of marker and 2 shades of pencil at this point. But once you get one row done of something, then you're just going to repeat it on the other side. Okay? That's right, I'm the boss of my color book. Now I'm going to take the lighter color here and just kind of pull that in so there's a little separation between the 2 colors there. Okay, so there we go. You can see that. But what I wanted to show you now is that I'm going to take my pencil and just how I did the shading around the swirls here. Okay, now I can still do that here, even though I've already colored that. I just wanted you to see that it doesn't matter whether you do the shading first or the coloring and then the shading with, the pencil and the marker. I hope you can kind of see that. And again, it's got a base coat of acrylic paint on the background. So let me do this little section and then we'll add some of those swirls on top. Now I would suggest doing the shading part before you put the swirls on. These swirls, I mean. And that's very subtle shading right there. Paint along with me this morning on a page. Yeah, and that's one of the things about not speeding up my videos and just letting you see how long it takes, is because if you saw this speeded up, you'd think, oh, I can do that in 2 hours. I can get that whole double page spread done in 2 hours. Look, it only took her 15 minutes, speed it up. Right? But when you have to see it done like this, you see how long it takes. Now, granted, you can speed up the video yourself and fast forward it past any parts that get repetitive for you. But it just shows you that it does take longer than you might imagine. You know, one of the girls, the reason I'm saying that is because one of the girls is saying that she's going along with me and she's seen how the patience you have to have and how long it takes. Because it does. And I'm hurrying for the sake of the show. But y'all don't hurry. Take your time, because it's not fun if you feel, you know, like you've got to hurry. All right, so now I'm going to take the marker, the same color that I did up here, and just do my own kind of swirls here and there. And there's no rhyme or reason to them. Just some little swirls, you know, maybe some going that way, a couple of little. No rhyme or reason, just some extra like little wave things. You know? Just to give it your own little, you know, texture-y addition. Like that. Okay. See, it just makes a difference. Look here. And then here. The swirls just add something to it. You just started the background with you and you're finishing the background one page. It is fun. It is fun. And again, you don't have to hurry. You know, now if you're trying to go along with me, you're going to feel a little rushed, but don't feel like you have to like go at the speed I'm going, right? Okay? It's because you won't have fun if you try to do that. All right, so you can kind of, and again, I won't finish this here, but when I do finish this page, you can go to my Facebook page, and in my albums, you have to go to my Facebook, Dee Dee Willingham, look for my photos, and under photos there's albums, and the albums are broke out by different things: the pet portraits, my Gold Rush portraits, my color book pages, and color book covers. I show you, if I post the covers of the color books that I've colored in. My desk, my messy desk pictures, there's an album for that. And I do want to make another people portrait album too. So I try to gather them all together. Like, it took me a couple hours to gather all my pet portraits and put those together in one pet portrait album, and I think I added 35 pictures to that at one time. So yeah, but what I'm saying is when I finish it, I will post it in that album. And I usually post them on Twitter too. Thanks, Queenie. Yes, it's very beachy. Buff says, Dee Dee's here being meticulous, and I'm outside taking my high flows and flinging them on the floor cloth. Well, we've done that too on the driveway art. But you can't really do a color book page that way. Well, you could. You're the boss of your color book. I do have some distress ink pads, and where I usually use those is just like for rubbing along a painted edge. Like this would probably be a good one to do that on. I don't know if I have a good color. I don't have a lot of them. I have maybe 10 colors. I don't have any of the new ones. I have the older ones. And then I also have the old Nick Bantock ones. I'm just going to do a little test here to see what color, what color this is going to be. But what I want to see, that's too blue, okay? Even though it's teal, it's a little too dark. Well, maybe not. Let's see. But what I wanted to show you is, okay, so now we're really getting ahead of ourselves. So I'm going to take the ink pad, and it could be any color. But if you want, you got to be careful. Don't go cray, But you can, if you wanted to do some distressing along the edges of your color book and make it kind of distressed, you could do that. See? I'm going to trying to do it gently here. I'm trying not to do too much. But you could add a little bit of distress along it too. It's probably better if you use the little mini ones for a color book, because it's kind of big to try to get along the edge, But you're the boss of your color book. Do what you want. Okay. All right, so I want to do the centers here, at least one center, right? Because I want to add some glitter. You're welcome, Nella. Okay, because I want to see, I might do another segment in the time chamber book, but I wanted to get far enough along here. I've got 30 more minutes before my 2 hours, 45, 50. It kind of cuts off depending. It gives me a warning, but But I wanted to get enough done in one so that you could see where I add some, if I added some glitter. So I'm thinking I do want a dark, is it the right one? No, it's not the right one. I want the darker one. I want the dark blue circle right around the center of the two circles. The medallions, if you will. I'm keeping this kind of monochromatic. I mean, as far as like just some blues and greens. I haven't added anything else color-wise to it. I really want to add some orange. Yes, hey, Sammy Jammy. Good to see you. I always wonder where you are when I don't see you. I know you're working and stuff, but good to see you. I did. I went over to my daughter's house. I spent the night. Went up there early Saturday morning. Spent the night. So it was a nice Mother's Day weekend. But I think I want some orange in the centers here. And maybe a few orange swirls. Let's move all my stuff. I keep bumping into it. Trying to stay under camera here. But these are just the kids' water-based markers. They're not going to blend like Copic. So you got to kind of have a light hand, but realize that they're not going to be, see, it's a little bit not perfectly smooth. So if you want to get that smoothness without marker lines, right? If you don't want marker lines, like here, let me show you. All right, see the marker lines? If you don't want marker lines, you're going to have to get rid of those with pencil, which is easy to do. Make sure this is dry. All right, I'm not going to go over the pencil on here yet for a minute because it's wet. If I try to go over this with pencil right now while it's wet, it's going to pill the paper. It's going to, it's going to pull the paper fibers off. So you want to either hit that with the heat gun or just, wait a minute. Okay, so I'm going to go over here and do this circle while I'm letting that one dry. Then you can go back over it with pencil to kind of blend out any marker lines. Okay, well, I have done a couple things in the time chamber book. You probably won't, I don't know if you were here, at the beginning of 2 hours ago. I don't expect anybody to stay here 2 or 3 or 4 hours, guys. That's why I record. And when I watch long videos, if I don't get to finish watching a recording, I just remember where I was. Like, oh, I'm an hour and a half into Paula's whatever, or I'm at, 2 hour mark on Jean. Then I'll go back and just pick it up. where I left off if I can't watch all of it right then. That's how I watch videos. Because I love long videos. Because I work, I'm working along with. Okay, so that's good enough. I can still see some marker lines, but I'm going to go back in there with pencil. Hey, Q-Bev. You like sticking around. Hey, Orla. All right, so I think, and you can feel if it's cold to the touch, it's probably not dry, but I think that's dry. All right, so now I'm going to take the same dark teal, and any places that I can kind of see marker lines, I can just kind of smooth it out. Or I can crisp up any edges. These circles are not perfect circles. They're kind of swirled off. You can see what I'm saying? The swirls kind of make them off. They're not a perfect, like, compass circle. So I just go in there and kind of fill in any areas that aren't, good enough for you, right? Terry Trouble, just stay. Okay, so it doesn't take long for that to dry on here because they're just water-based and it's not like the paint. Sometimes the paint takes a little longer to dry. Again, before you start going on here with anything, you want to make sure that it's dry. Okay, let's take a sip of coffee. Gotta remember to take those sips of coffee because talking all the day makes my throat scratchy. Okay. So I think I want to use some yellow ochre and some oranges. Now, I know starfish are probably more cream color and, but I can do it whatever I want, right? Because I'm the boss of my color book. Yes, so I think what I'll do is I'll start with an orange pencil. Or maybe a yellow ochre. Let's start with just a yellow ochre. Then we'll have an orange. Let's see. It's a little dark, I think. And a orange. I'm just going to get two colors again. Keeping it simple. I'm going to go with an orange and a yellow ochre for now. Then we'll do any more detail with the markers. So I'm just going to start by coloring the whole seahorse. Yellow ochre. And there's these other little fish around there. I think I'm going to color them blue. And what I think I'll do with this background, I might put a very light shade of blue, but I think I'm going to put glitter. So they kind of look like they're in a glass bubble. All right, so I'm just going to color the whole thing solid yellow ochre, the whole seahorse. Okay, same thing over here with the starfish. I'm just going to color the whole thing yellow ochre. Just a light coat there. But I'm going to go in here with the orange, and I'm just going to kind of shade around the edges with the orange pencil. Kind of blend it in a little bit. And you can use more than two colors. I'm just doing it real simple here. You could, get a darker sienna on the tips of this, and get it really like lots of shades of orange and brown in there. I'm just going to do this. And then I think right in this, around the center, I'm going to do that. Because I'm going to use marker in the center. Okay, I'm going to use a dark orange. Okay, so then I can go back and blend a little bit more with the yellow ochre. Blend out that orange just a little. Again, take your time. Don't have to hurry like I'm doing. Okay, so you can kind of see that. I'm going to go back over to the seahorse and do the same thing. Just do a little. A little more blending. Not a lot of stuff going on here, just a little bit. Now I'm going to get probably, let's do a test again. Where's my paper? Don't quite, let's see, I don't know if I want a tan. That might be too brown. Let me see if I got a dark orange. Let's see how dark this is. It's not dark enough. Dark orange. Ah, here we go. Yeah. There we go. All right, so I got a darker orange. I bought a webcam and a tripod. It's in the mail now. There we go. Of course we want to see. We love anything. We love anything. Art, craft. We like it all, Sammy Jammy, of course. Okay, so now I'm going to take my dark orange. See where I put it in the eye? And then maybe not really fill those in, but just put some little lines. Maybe some of these lines right under the body. I'm just going to take the dark orange and add some little dark orange accents. And then maybe on the spine too. Not a lot, see, just a little bit, dark orange. Maybe just a little bit back in behind there. That might be a nice touch. See, not too much. Didn't take too much time. Now these little fish right here, those little fish, I'm just going to go in there with some dark blue. Now, I do want to say this. When we go over this with stickles, you're probably going to want to be careful. If you go over stickles, it's not going to matter so much like right along this ring, say, okay? Because I'm going to put an orange ring around there. It's not going to matter so much on the ring because you're just kind of, if you're smearing anything, you're smearing it right on it. But if I put stickles over the top of this water-based marker, like right over that, I'm not going to want to rub on there. I'll show you when we get the stickles out. You're going to want to be a little careful if you're going to put a wet medium over a wet, you know, something that'll move with water. So we're going to want to be careful if we put any stickles over that, over this fish. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to take my orange again. And I think what I'll do first, I think what I'll do is I'll do the yellow ochre and just kind of do a little bit of yellow ochre and then put some orange dots on that because I'm going to stickle all this, right? So I wanted to kind of pull out just a little. I'm going to shade it out just a little. I don't know how well you can see. I'll hold it up again in a second. And you don't have to do it exactly like me. You don't have different colors. You don't like these colors. I mean, you know, this is just an idea, right? All right, so I'm kind of shading out. All right, and I'm going to kind of blend that out a little bit more. Real softly, and then I'm going to go back and put orange dots with the marker. So you can see you can use both things, pencil and marker. But be aware of where you use marker that it'll smear if you add anything wet on top of it. Yeah, stickles are glitter glue. I'll pull some out here in just a minute, because I want to make sure and finish this in the next 10 minutes. Not the whole page, but my sample areas. Okay? Alright, so I just want to kind of... The pencil won't move. The pencil won't move with water or anything wet because they're not watercolor pencils. But these marker areas, you do have to be a little careful. All right, so now, so you can kind of see how I shaded. See the little ropey detail? Where that little ropey detail is? Now, I'm not trying to get in every single, I'm just going to do essence of rope dots or whatever those are. I'm not even necessarily trying to get in every other one. I'm just trying to get some, just to add a little bit of extra orange. I'll hold it up again here in a minute. But the stickles will be okay as long as you're not smearing it in too much. It should be okay anyway. If I just like kind of coat it on top gently, it should be okay. But we'll see. If it smears, you'll know not to do that. Okay, I froze up for a second. There we go. Then you'll know not to do that. You'll want to use just pencil instead of marker right there. Okay, so you can see I just wanted to add a little bit of the orange dots around it just to kind of tie those two together. Yeah, so just the Crayola markers. That's right, Iffy. The Crayola Super Tips. Water-based. Okay, so there you go. You can kind of see that. And I am going to want to add some orange swirls to, oh, and back over here on the starfish. Same thing. I wanted to do some little orange dots. With the marker, and you don't have to do it with marker. I just find that it's easier to get in those tiny little areas with the point of a marker than it is even with a pencil. It's just quicker coverage. So, you know, and I personally, I don't have the time to spend, you know, 8 hours on a page, rarely. I kind of move along, right? Just kind of, and I do even go even quicker here for the show. So I'm just going to color in these little fish and their little air bubbles. The dark blue. Okay, so see. Alright, so now let me go around the edge of this one. Yeah, links are open, guys. You can put your Twitters, your Instagrams, your channels, or whatever. Thanks everybody for being here. Hope you're getting some color book tips today. Okay, so I kind of went around that kind of dark. Now I'm just going to kind of feather it out. Then I'll put some stickles in a minute because we're going to run out of time. And I did want a couple of orange swirls in here first, though. Let's see if we have time for that, too. Keep it light. And you usually want to do your stickles or glitter, you know, whatever kind. I just like the stickles. You want to do that last, or at least if you're done with the page for the day, like I'll finish that page for today, because it will take a while to dry, and I've found that you can't really heat gun stickles to get it to dry. You almost have to let it sit on its own. So you're kind of, unless you're careful about not getting your hand in the places that you've put glitter glue on there. Okay. All right, so just kind of went around the edge like that a little bit. Hey, Marie. Okay, Marie, thanks for popping in. Good to see you. Okay, so again, I want a little bit of the orange coming around these swirls. I'm going to have it mostly be the blues, but I think I'm going to want a little bit of orange in here somewhere. So I'm going to add a couple, and then I'll probably do some with a yellow ochre. Let me see what other pencil here. A lighter yellow. Where's my sample thing? Yes. So a couple shades of like the orange and the yellow. And you could stickle all of it if you want. You could make all these swirls glittery, right? So I'm going to just want a few orange ones, like maybe 2 here. Let's do, and again, it's repeated on the other side. I think I want that to come down. But I'm kind of keeping these colors so far. That's my plan anyway. And then if you don't like a little area where it's not blended enough, let it dry for a second, and then you can go in there and you know, blend it out. Still wet. I can't do it right there. Okay. And use your pencil to shade out some of the marker lines. Okay, if you get marker lines you don't like, use your pencil to kind of blend those out. So this is the plan. I'm going to do these colors, yellow ochre and the orange, and these 2 shades of the blues, along with the coordinating pencil colors. Where's my? So these are the colors that I'm going to keep to for the whole thing. Right? And I'll zoom out again here in a minute. But while we're doing some real close-ups, so let me do the stickles real quick. And again, for those of y'all that don't know what stickles are, let me find a couple of the colors I want. Because I have them in all these let me get them all. So I keep them in, and I might be kind of too zoomed in to show you, but these are, you see how close I'm zoomed in. These are old vacuum cleaner filter cases, and they just fit the stickles perfectly. So I got a couple of those. They fit a double row there, and then I just have, these are some old shipping tag, little, just to keep them in. So what I do want though is this orange. Is that orange enough or is that too pink? It's called Fruit Punch. See if I got, okay, I got this with a little bit more orange. Let's go with the orange. Yeah, I have copper too, so let's go with the orange for now. And some clear. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to show this and I'll zoom back out so you can see the full page. So I'll probably go ahead and do these orange ones too, just so you can see, but then I have to stop because it's too hard to color and do all that with wet glue, stickles, right? This is what it is, stickles. Okay, I got the Stardust one, and this one, this may even be an off-brand. I think they're all pretty much made by the same people. Okay, so I'm going to go in here with the orange. Let's see if I can stay in camera. Let's get it going here. And they have this little tiny tip on them, see? So I'm going to go over the orange. So the only places I think that I'll have the glitter is the orange areas and the center here with the diamond dust. I think I'll leave all the blue. I'll leave all the blues non-glittery. Now it's going to be hard to see the glitter for a minute till I hold it up to the camera. And also it doesn't photograph. Glitter just doesn't photograph, just kind of like gold paint. Doesn't photograph, you know, like shine. Okay, but I think I'll also go along just the center here of the starfish, and you probably won't see it right now till I hold it up and tilt it. Okay, now I'm going to go right along the edge here. And it's clear enough that you'll still see the color book stuff through it, right? So I'm going to go right along the edge. To bring out the orange. So any other swirls that I do here with orange, I'll put the stickles on it. So there you go. Can you see? Yeah, stickles to me, these are the best. You can get some other ones that will work fine, but they're not going to have these nice tips on them. And that's kind of really good if you want to get in detail. Some are going to have like wide tips, and you're not going to get that same look. All right? So then what I want to do, and here's where I'm going to be careful going over these fish that are marker, okay? But I want that whole circle here to be kind of clear. I want it to be glittery. Let's see how much I got in this one. I might need to get another one out. There we go. So this is kind of like clear. But I want the whole thing. Now, you don't have to necessarily go completely solid, but what I'm saying is where I'm going to go over the fish, or be real careful, because it might smear that blue. You can almost just kind of go around those fish, because those fish will smear. But my plan is to almost make this look like a globe. Kind of like, or a porthole on a ship, you know? Like glass. So I'm going to kind of swirl around those little fish. Again, it doesn't have to be solid. It's just, I want it all kind of swirly. And when I hold it up here, you'll see. And you'll see it in your own color book, you know, even though when I photograph it, you're not going to see this glitter. Like I did on the mermaid. It looks so pretty with the glitter on her mermaid fins, but it didn't photograph. The glitter doesn't photograph. Okay, so there we go. Now, let me show you. I want to leave these two out because I'm going to want to use them on that side. So there we go. See how pretty? Got mail. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, Galena, I sent her a little miniature composition book. I've been meaning to send it to you for a while, Galena. It just sat over there. I said, well, I got to find something else to throw in there with that. So, yeah. So, see how pretty that looks? So, let me real quickly show you the mermaid. The Jasmine Beckett before the time runs out, and I can do some more work on something else, guys, but this segment is getting ready to stop in about 5 minutes. Okay, so here's the mermaid, and see the glitter on her tail, but that just doesn't photograph when I upload it, but I wanted y'all to see how pretty it looks when you put glitter on your color book pages. And I kept it subtle. It's like not all over the place, right? It's just in like certain areas. And so that's what I'm going to do here. All the blues and everything are going to be like no glitter, but you could glitter the whole thing if you wanted. But I just wanted you to see that. So let me come over here. Let me move all these little jars. I mean, all my little things here. Pile it up behind me because I want to come over here to this side real quick. All right, so let me get my 2 markers. And I want to do the same swirls on this side that I did on this side. Because see, it's just a repeated pattern. Okay, it's a repeated pattern over here. So I want this one here. And actually, that needs to be orange down there. So I'm going to do the 2 colors of orange. I'm going to do the dark orange and then the lighter orange. These are the 2 oranges that I'm using. there. In here. And take your time when you put the marker on, because there's no going back. You know, you can smooth it out. You can smooth it out with your pencil, but you know, you don't want to hurry it when you don't have to. Thanks, guys. All right, so now I'm going to take the orange. Oh, and the other thing too is don't feel like you have to have all these colors, because if you have the crystal, this is called Stardust, but there's a crystal, any of the clear ones, you can go over this orange and the orange is going to show through. Okay, the orange will show through. So don't feel like you have to have every color of Stickles. It's fun to have some different colors, and it's a little bit more vibrant, but you don't have to have all these colors. You can do it with clear, and the color will show through. I just want to give y'all that little tip. So if you're just going to go get any Stickles, start with just a Stardust, or it's called Crystal. It's like clear, right? If you've never used Stickles before, just start with the clear colors. Okay, now I'm going to put some strategically on the little seahorse here. Maybe just a couple little lines here. Just a bit. I did make some of my own glitter glues, but they don't work the same because the glitter settles. Yeah, I don't know. I trust Stickles to do what I want it to do. You know, I mean, I'm sure, and now, I mean, these little jars used to be like $5 each. Now you can get them in Michael's dollar bin. You know, you can get, and I think I bought a pack of 3 crystals or star, whatever that's called, the clear ones. I think I got a pack of 3 at Hobby Lobby on sale for like $2. So they're not as expensive as they used to be when they first came out, right? Okay, so there's the orange. So here's what it looks like with no glitter in the center. So just around the edges. And then here it is with it all in the center, with the crystal in the center. So that's what I'm going to do on this one too. Have a million colors of glitter from Bossy. Yeah. Again, now, you know, you want to test to make sure whatever thing you're using, that it's, you know, you're happy with it on your color book page. But again, if you're afraid to do any of this in your color book, print you out a test, you know, on cardstock and do a sample on cardstock before you go into your color book if you're so afraid of messing it up. So I'm just kind of going around the little fish. I'm just kind of swirling it in there, okay? All right, so I'm going to back out so you can see the whole thing a little better. I use Stickles on the back of those clear stones that are flat on the back from the dollar store. Oh, that's a good idea, Debbie. The little crystals that you can get, she puts the Stickles on the back and makes them, then they look like they're glittery on the inside. And she calls them wishing stones. That's such a great idea, Debbie. Debbie Boring. Okay, so there you go. So there's that one. And then there's this one. All right, now let me back out and readjust the camera, because I'm zoomed in like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7. Okay, so let me zoom in 1 though, just so I can, okay, I'm not sure how focused I am there. Let's just put on autofocus for a second so you can see the whole thing. So you can see where we put the blue. Okay, wait a minute, I gotta take the autofocus off. It's not gonna like me. It's not gonna like me. Let's brighten it up just a little. Okay. So you can see where we're going with it. And see where we added our own swirls. Now, I did have a little bit of streak in there from where I was testing out the ink pads. Okay, it's okay. But you can see where we added our own swirls. Add some glitter. So you can at least see where the page is going. And it's pretty much repetitive all the way around. I'll probably add orange right here and orange right there. Okay, and maybe 1 orange here. So I'll probably have a total of 5 orange swirls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the rest will be blue. Okay, and I'll just have those 5 main swirls on both sides be orange, and glitter those 5 orange swirls, and everything else will just be like blue. Okay, so that way you know where we're going. Again, look at the stickles; it makes a difference, but you won't see that on the photograph. You won't see that pretty glitter. I mean, I can like hold it like this and get a picture of it, maybe, but you can't just lay it down and get you don't see it. All right, guys, so the camera's getting ready to stop on this segment. So I think I'll save this one, and then I will go over to the time chamber for a little bit. If y'all want to, and I understand if you can't stick around, we're here. I mean, if I'm here all day, doesn't mean you got to be, right? Don't mean you got to be. All right, so let me save this one, guys. And so again, I can't close the book, but I want to show you that this one is in the Lost Ocean. Okay. So these little medallion things, I think I like the way that with the glitter on, they look like little portals. All right, guys. So I'll be right back, and yeah, hang on. So these are 2 pages that I've done in the time chamber. But again, this is not done in a 3-hour segment. So I have to keep saying that on my recordings. I cannot do this in 3 hours. So yeah, but I've had people want me to color this one too. Now in the time chamber, it is a story about a little girl. I think she's a little red-headed girl, I think. But I'm coloring every page different. I'm not coloring her same outfit and her same hair color on every page. I'm treating every page as its individual page. So she might have black hair, blonde hair. It could be different on every page because I'm not treating this book like it's a full-on kids book, where you'd have to color it all the same in the same outfits and all that. I'm coloring them like as individual because I would get bored coloring the same girl over and over and over and over, 50 times the same. So I just, I'm the boss of my color book. So I'm thinking I might work a little bit on this one and a little bit on that other one. But I'm just going to quickly show you a couple others that I am still working in. The Game of Thrones, I know I've shown y'all this before. I've got a few pages in process, and when I finish them, I'll post them in the album. This one's still in process. I've just got it kind of base coated or the wash in the background, but I haven't done any shading or any, glitter or anything on this. This is the same. I've got him going. And again, I know that these different houses, the different thrones in the Game of Thrones are probably not colored like this, like Sir Loras, I think is how, I'm not sure anyway, how you pronounce it. I don't watch the Game of Thrones. I know, don't email me. So I don't know if, he's got blonde hair, red hair, blue hair. But I'm coloring the colors I just want to color them. Okay, same for her. I did do her glittery in the snow. So, yeah. Game of Thrones, that's one of the things that I would want to read the books before I saw the series, because the books are always better than the shows, you know, and I would want to have it in my head first, all the plots and the thrones and the, you know, I'd want to read it first for myself before I saw the show. That's just me. So you can see I put glitter stickles on the snow. So yeah. And I think that's all I got going on. But this was the official Game of Thrones coloring book. So there's that one. I work a little, whatever. I'm a little in each one. The Jasmine Beckett Griffith book, you've seen me do 2 different ones. These are recorded. The first one, this one, it took me 3 parts to finish on a show, so that you could see me from start to finish do this. This one took 3 parts. So you can see that one. And then this one we did last week, and I rushed through. I did not pins. These are Sharpie pins, not the markers. A Sharpie marker will go through most color book pages. I only have one color book that's even thick enough to hold much of anything other than the mediums that I'm using. But if you use Copics, or you want to use Copics, or any other kind of alcohol-based markers, I would recommend you making a copy of the page you want to do and coloring it on cardstock or whatever paper. You won't care if it goes through if it's a copy. But if you're doing a book where you want to do the front and the back pages, it's going to go through with any serious, you know, serious coloring on it, right? They're really made for color pencils, which I use those too. Bic crystals, yeah, but I think they're called Biros across the pond. Okay, so what I will do for this, again, let me kind of hold it up so you can see what we got here. We have 2 like emblems sort of thing, one with the seahorse and one with the starfish. But I want to show you how I would do the back. Now, it may get repetitive. I don't want to be apologizing for things taking a long time. But, you know, it does. It takes a while to do a color book page. And so maybe we'll do we'll see how far we get with this. So let me move these pins out of my way. If you have any questions, put them in caps. If you're watching this recording, it's a live show with live people, a live chat. And, yeah. So, what I'm going to do, I only think I'll put this little thing under here. That may help some. Move the wax paper out of the way. And we're going to start with some paint. Move some more pins out of the way. Things pile up. They do. They pile up. Let's see if that brush is going to be... Let me look through my brushes here real quick. Get a couple on a pointy one and a flat one. That may be too big. It's almost time for me to get some more angle brushes. Might go with a little larger one. Let's go with those 2. And if I need a smaller one. All right, let's see. Let me go through another jar real quick. I don't mind fluffy brushes when I'm doing certain things like art journal pages, but when I want detail, they have to be able to get a point sharp, you know, they have to stay sharp. Let's see how these, okay, so I got a few brushes here going. All right, so what I would do, I'm going to just talk you through, and if you've heard me say this stuff before, I know it's, I repeat the same things every time I do the process, but that's because I'm talking out what I'm doing, and yeah. So I'm going to get a little tray here for some paint. I'm going to start out with, I think I'm going to do some minty green. Completely finished the waves and a couple other things on the show, but I pretty much got her finished in 3 hours. But it was tough to speed through. And she did not have, you know, African-American hair. She had just straight hair. But I wanted to do, you know, a dark-skinned girl for to have, I just like doing different skins, you know. So I did her hair kind of like a braid. There it goes, kind of clicking in. One of the edges described Game of Thrones as I haven't seen any of it, Vicky. None of the Game of Thrones. Not one smidgen of it. But again, it's one of those things I want to read the books. And so there's that. Okay, so we'll go ahead. Oh, and then the lookbook, I'm also working in this. Y'all saw me do this, and it was either 2 or 3 parts. And it is kind of flashing out a little bit, guys, on the camera. And then I did this one, and I still haven't quite finished the scooter. And then this one I just got the background painted in. Nothing more on that. And I have colored, and then this one. I have colored like 3 other girls that I made copies of. Maybe 4 that I made copies of so I could send 2 to Paula, and I've cut 2 out and put them in my art journals. So there's that. Is that all of them? Yeah. So that's the look. Around the World Fashion Coloring Book by Suwa. Okay, so those are all the books that well, they're not all of them. And then this one I'm using to color and cut out. I mean, I'm literally just coloring and tearing them straight out of the book for the art journal. The big oversized Mama Jamba Moleskine book. I'm putting those in there. So, okay. Okay, so I will show you how I would start these pages, and we'll see how far we get. I'll fix the camera, I'll zoom in, and hopefully focus it well enough for everybody to see detail. So I hope everybody's having a good Monday. So I'm going to start with painting, so I'm going to want some wax paper behind the pages so that I don't paint the pages shut, you know. I don't want to get paint all the way to the edge and then they glue together. You're going to order the lookbook off of Amazon? Yeah. There's a couple other books that are out that I want to get, but I haven't been to the store in 2 weeks. I haven't been to the book, believe it or not. I haven't been to, I'm going to have to kind of break the spine here so it lies flat. I haven't been to the bookstore in 2 weeks because a week ago we did the Family Lake thing. Then this last week, it was Mother's Day, I went up and spent the night at Denise's. So, yeah. Okay, welcome back everybody to Coffee and Art in the Morning. I'm Dee Dee, and we got color book spread all out. So we already did one segment this morning, which I'll upload shortly. But if you missed, where it'll be titled with Cadfael in the title. But Lady Jan sent a awesome letter that she wrote of her visit. Her and she and Mr. Bear when they went to in 1991 in Wales. So check that out. I try not to say check that out. There's got to be other ways to say check that out. But go and peruse that video. And then also I got this awesome postcard from Desiree. She sends these awesome postcards every now and then. I need to figure out how to do another inspiration board since my room is completely shelved floor to ceiling. I have no walls to put an inspiration board or a, just little rotate out little art that people send me. But I love this, even though Eileen, I don't think Eileen's here, but I love this. It's just beautiful. It's beautiful. What did you, you want, Vicky, yeah, so anyway, before I hit record, I was asking what kind of, if anybody had a preference on a color book page, and then Vicky comes in. I think I'll throw a wrench in the whole thing and say, I want you to do an art journal page. Well, we'll see. I know, the flamingo is stunning. I know. But, yeah, Eileen's, I don't see Eileen here, so I guess we're good. So thanks, everybody, for being here. Well, we'll see how much, yeah, everybody's going, well, we'll do both, do an art journal page and a color book page. All right, so I think that what I'm going to do is I might do some of in 2 different books here because we did have a request from out of Lost Ocean. We picked this double page spread. So I might just show you how I might go about doing it without actually finishing it. Because once and I always try to upload the finished photographs into my color book album on Facebook. So if you want to see all my finished pages like this one, they're uploaded to my Facebook album. And you don't have to follow me or me follow you to go look at my albums on Facebook. I have multiple different albums and I want to make even some more. But they're all public, so anybody can go look at them. But this is one of the pages that I've done in the Lost Ocean. I also did a mermaid page, but I tore it out. Don't email me. I tore it out and sent it to Renee, who sent me this book. So I'm thinking about showing you how I would tackle a couple different pages, like this one. And I'll have to get the camera zoomed in just right. And then also had requests for working in the time chamber. And I've got a couple done in that one. I got this one's almost done. And then this one is done. Where is the other one? This one. This one's done. So I do want to get the book to lie as flat as I can. So when I zoom in. Okay. All right. So here we go. Let me readjust the camera settings and all. Now, I don't want to get any closer than this while I'm doing the background. Guys, let me readjust some settings here. I've got to turn down the light. Refocus. Let me get my card here to focus. Something to focus on. I'm not sure how good that is. No bookstore. Yeah, I know, right, Vicki? I haven't been to the bookstore in 2 weeks. Now, when I turn the light down, it helps on the white paper, but it makes me look like I have this awesome tan, which I don't. I'm pale as a ghost, but yeah, but it's yeah. Maybe by the end of summer I'll look like this, but right now I don't have that tan. But I want to be able to get the glare off of. Move some of this other way. I want to get the glare off and still be focused in. Okay, so hopefully that's good. Y'all let me know when we get crack-a-lackin'. If it starts looking fuzzy, let me know, and I'll try to readjust the focus. Okay, because cameras do not like white paper. They do not like white paper. But after I get some of the background done, then I'll zoom in even more for the details. So my plan for this one is I'm going to go ahead and paint in some of the background with acrylic paint. But I'm going to probably do the bulk of the coloring with markers. Now, when I say markers, I don't mean Copics, okay? I mean just water, these kids' ones like this. Right, let me take out some of these other pens because I got all bundles of pens. These markers right here, they're just the Crayola Super Tip Kids markers. They're water-based. Now, they're not watercolor. They're not going to... Okay, thank you so much, Jan, for the letter. It was awesome. Thanks so much. I hope you'll do it again if you go in September. So, they're water-based kids markers, and as long as you don't scrub, you know, and your paper is this is a little bit thicker, but it may go through. You know, it still can go through if you over saturate it, right? But with markers or some gel pens, these are just some cheap gel pens. With gel pens, you can get in some of the tiny little bits on a color book. Or, let's see, I got some Bic Biros or whatever y'all call them in UK. Then I also have the Sharpie pen.